Hello everyone, I am welcome you my YouTube channel titled as Medichem and GPAT Guidance. So this channel is all about the guidance regarding Medichem as well as GPAT examination. In this video, I am just giving a guidelines regarding the mechanism of action involved in antibacterial drugs. So let's start the discussion. Now let's see the mechanism of action involved in each category of antibacterial agent such as sulfonamides, quinolones, beta-lactam antibiotics, then tetracycline, aminoglycosides, macrolide antibiotics, lincosamide, glycopeptides, polypeptides, and lastly we will cover the mechanism of action related with polyene antibiotics. Now let's start with sulfonamides. Now this is the mechanism of action related with a sulfonamide, that is sulfonamide being a structural analog of PABA. It inhibits bacterial folate synthetase. Ultimately, folic acid is not formed and number of essential metabolic reaction will suffer. Exactly what happens in bacteria? This bacteria synthesize folic acid by using PABA as a constituent, which is taken from the media, and the sulfonamide being a structural analog of PABA inhibit bacterial folate synthetase. So ultimately folic acid will not be synthesized and ultimately it will suffer the remaining actions or functions related with folic acid. Sulfonamide competitively inhibit the union of PABA with pteridine residue, which ultimately forms a dihydroteroic acid. And ultimately this teroic acid conjugates with glutamic acid to produce dihydrofolic acid. As the sulfonamide have a structural resemblance with PABA, so ultimately there will be a competition and ultimately instead of PABA, this sulfonamide will incorporate it to form altered folate, which is metabolically injurious to the bacteria. So in this way sulfonamide will show the mechanism of action. Now let's see the mechanism of action shown by the beta-lactam antibiotics. All beta-lactam antibiotics interfere with the synthesis of bacterial cell wall. Right? How exactly they are doing? The beta-lactam antibiotic inhibits transpeptidase so that cross-linking does not take place. And so ultimately the structural benefits regarding the cell wall will be breakdown. The bacteria synthesize UDP and acetylmuramic acid pentapeptide, that is called as PARC nucleotide. And UDP and acetylglucosamide. The peptidoglycan residue are linked together forming long strand and the UDP is split up. It just separate from that particular strand. The final step is a cleavage of the terminal D-alanine of the peptide chain by transpeptidase. The energy which was involved during that reaction, which is utilized for the establishment of the cross linkage between the peptide chain of neighboring strand. This cross-linking provides stability and rigidity to the cell wall. So ultimately, transpeptidase is essential for providing the stability as well as rigidity to the cell wall. Now these beta-lactam antibiotics inhibit the transpeptidase so that cross-linking does not take place. These enzymes and related proteins constitute the penicillin binding protein, also called as PBP, which have been located in the bacterial cell membrane. So in this way, beta-lactam shows its mechanism of action. Now here we are focusing on the mechanism of action of quinolones. This fluoroquinolones inhibit the enzyme bacterial DNA gyrase. This is the enzyme which is responsible for the replication process. This fluoroquinolones, specifically the DNA gyrase, also that is primarily found in the gram-negative bacteria, which nicks double-stranded DNA and introduce the negative supercoils and then reseal the nicked ends. This is necessary to prevent excessive positive supercoiling of the strands when they separate to permit replication or transcription. The DNA gyrase consists of 2A and 2B subunit. The A subunit carries out the nicking of DNA, whereas the B subunit introduces the negative supercoil, and then A subunit recell the strands. In this way, this process will take place. And the fluoroquinolones bind to a subunit, A subunit, which with have high affinity and interfere with its strand cutting and reselling function. I repeat the same thing. Fluoroquinolones will bind to A subunit and ultimately it will interfere with its strand cutting and reselling function. Now let's see the mechanism of action involved in tetracycline treatment or tetracycline action. The tetracyclines are primarily bacteriostatic in nature. It inhibits protein synthesis by binding 30S ribosomes in susceptible organisms. Subsequent to such a binding, the attachment of amino acyl tRNA to acceptor A. This is the acceptor A associated with the site of messenger RNA of ribosome complex. So ultimately this complex will get disturbed, and because of this disturbance in the complex, that results in the peptide chain is failed to grow. So ultimately the peptide chain will not grow further. So in this way, this tetracycline will show its mechanism of action. Now let's focus on aminoglycosides. Aminoglycosides inhibit protein synthesis. Specifically, the streptomycin binds to 30S ribosomes, whereas other aminoglycosides will bind with 50S as well as the 30S interface also. This particularly they freeze the initiation of protein synthesis, they prevent the polysomes formation and promote their disaggregation to monosomes. So in this way, only one ribosome is attached to each strand of messenger RNA. So in this way, they disturb the protein synthesis. Now let's see the mechanism of action shown by macrolide antibiotics. Again, they inhibit protein synthesis. Erythromycin act by inhibiting bacterial protein synthesis. Generally, erythromycin is a bacteriostatic at low concentration and bactericidal at higher concentration. This erythromycin, it combines with the 50S ribosomes subunit and interferes with translocation. So in this way, they inhibit protein synthesis by disturbing the translocation process. So this is a mechanism of action related to macrolide antibiotics. Now let's see the mechanism of action involved in a lincosamide antibiotic. Lincosamide again inhibit a protein synthesis. It combines with 50S ribosome subunit and interfere with translocation. This is very much similar to erythromycin. The lincosamide is a potent antibiotic and it is having similarity with the erythromycin, and sometimes it exhibits partial cross resistance. Modification of some ribosomal binding site by the constituting a methylase enzyme may show the resistance against this kind of antibiotics. So again, I supposed to say like that, lincosamide having similar action just like a erythromycin. Now let's check out the mechanism of action related to glycopeptide antibiotics. It involves inhibition of bacterial cell wall synthesis. It binds to the terminal dipeptide D-ala sequence of peptidoglycan, which prevent its release from the bactoprenol lipid carrier, so that assembly of the units at the cell membrane and their cross-linking to form cell wall will definitely avoided. So it means that the assembly of unit as well as cross-linking is avoided by just disturbing the D-ala sequence of peptidoglycan. So in this way, this glycopeptide ultimately inhibit cell wall synthesis. Now check out the mechanism of action shown by the polypeptide antibiotics. It is somewhat different. They are rapidly acting bactericidal agent have a detergent-like action on cell membrane. They have high affinity for phospholipid. The peptide molecule orient between the phospholipid and protein films in gram-negative bacterial cell membrane, which causing membrane distortion, or ultimately also called as pseudopore formation. And because of this cell membrane distortion or pseudopore formation, there is a leakage of ions or amino acid, etc. And in this way, they just disturb the cell wall. So this is the mechanism of action shown by polypeptide antibiotic. Now lastly, check out the mechanism of action shown by the pauline antibiotics. The paulines have high affinity for algosterol. This algosterol present in fungal cell membrane. They combine with it, get inserted into membrane, and several pauline molecules together orient themselves in such a way to form micropore. The hydrophilic side forms the interior of the pore through which ions, amino acid and other water soluble substances will move out. The micropore is stabilized by membrane sterol, which fills up the space between A and B molecule on the lipophilic side, which constituting outer surface of the pore. No doubt, the hydrophilic portion is inner side and lipophilic is on outer surface of the pore. And so ultimately, because of this situation, hydrophilic, lipophilic, the cell permeability is markedly increased. So in this way, this pauline antibiotic will act. So I supposed to say like that, you all understood this mechanism of action shown by all the antibacterial agents. We have our maximum categories that comes under antibacterial. Thank you for watching this video, and for more videos please subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you very much.